Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about repeated multiplication. Repeated multiplication means we multiply a number by itself number of times. For example, if I multiply 2 times 2 times 2, this means that 2 is multiplied by itself 3 times. So count how many times we multiplied number 2 by itself. 1, 2, 3. So we can write it in this form. 2 is raised to the power 3 and it's raised to the power of 3. Another example. If 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4, we can say that 4 is multiplied by itself 4 times. So we can write it like this. 4 to the power 4. Another one. 5 multiply 5 equal 5 to the power 2. And that means that we multiplied 5 by itself 2 times, so we can write it as 5 to the power 2. Let's have another one. 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10. It's written as 10, yes, to the power 3. Means we multiply 10 by itself 3 times. Another one. Negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9 times also negative 9 times again negative 9. What does this mean? This means that we multiplied negative 9 by itself how many times? Let's count the number of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can write it as 9 to the 5th power. So again, I'm going to review. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 means 4 to the power 4. Or we can read it 4 to the 4th power. The next one, 5 times 5. We multiplied 5 by itself 2 times. So we can write it as this 4. And we can read it as 5 to the 2nd power. Or square of 5. Example number 3, 10 times 10 times 10. We multiply 10 by itself 3 times, so we can write it in this form. How can we read it? We read it as 10 to the 3rd power, or cube of 10. The last one, negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9. So we can write it in this form. negative 9 to the fifth power, or to the power of 5. We have to know some information about this form. If we have 5 to the power 3, 5 is called the base, and 3 is called the power. Again, 5 to the power 3, or to the third power, 5 is called the base, and 3 is called the power. Okay, who can read this? Okay, yes, negative x to the power 2. Who can read this? Yes, okay, y to the power 2, or y to the second power. Take care. Again, 5 is called the base, and 3 is called the power. Take care. We have some notes. The first note is the second power of any number is called the square of the number. For example, 5 to the power 2 is read as 5 to the power 2, or the square of 5. While 7 to the power 2 is read as what? The square of 7. Note number 2. The third power of any number is called the cube of the number. For example, 4 to the power 3. How can I read this? It's read as 4 to the power 3, or 4 to the third power, or the cube of 4. Again, 4 to the power 3, or the cube of 4, or 4 to the third power. Note number 3. The first power of any number equals the number itself, and we don't write any power like 3 power 1 equals 3, 5 power 1 equals 5. What about 4 power 1 equals 4, but don't write power 1. Okay. We are going to solve some exercise as a classroom. Let's try number 8. Negative 4 to the power 2 means negative 4 multiply itself. How many times? 2 times. So, negative 4 times negative 4 equals, sure, yes, equals 16. As the two signs are the same, the answer will be a positive answer, and 4 times 4 will be 16. The other one. Let's try number 3. Negative 2 here. Negative 2 to the power 2 means negative 2, yes, times negative 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 2 means 2, yes, times 2. If we multiply them, we have to multiply this sign first. Negative times negative will be positive, Positive times positive, positive. Positive times positive will be positive, but I'm not going to write the positive sign. Next, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 will be 16. The next one. Negative 1 to the power 4 will be negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 will be 1 plus negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. The answer will be negative 8. Yes. Then we have to add them. 1 plus negative 8 will be, sure we are going to subtract because the two signs are not the same. So we will subtract and keep the sign of the larger one. The answer will be negative 7. Let's try number D. Negative 1 to the power 100. It will be 1. And we can use the calculator to get the answer. Okay, what about negative 1 to the power 200? Will be also 1. And then we have to add them. The answer will be 2. Try number E. Negative 5 to the power 3 equals negative 125 multiplied by negative 1 to the power 5 equals negative 1. And then we have to multiply the two answers. Negative multiplied by negative will be positive. 125 multiplied by 1 equals 125. The last one. 4 to the power 3 means 4 multiply 4 will be 64, sure. Plus 4 to the power 2 or square of 4 means 4 multiplied by 4 equals 16. And then we have to add. The answer will be 80. Another note, you have to know that any number to the power 0 equals 1. For example, 2 to the power 0 equals 1. Another 1. 40 to the power 0 equals 1. Another 1. 100. Negative 100. To the power 0, sure, equals 1. Another number, 23 to the power 0 equals sure 1. So you have to know that any number to the power 0 equals 1. Let's move to two important rules. The first one is, if the base is a negative number and this number is raised to an even power, so the result is a positive number. Example, negative 3 to the power 2. The base is a negative and the power is an even. So the result will be a positive number. So if we multiply negative 3 by itself 2 times, the answer will be 9. So 9 is sure a positive number. Another example, negative 5 to the power 3. Here notice that the base, which is negative 5, is a negative number. 3, sorry, to the power 2 negative 5 to the power 2. Notice that negative 5 is the base and the base is negative. The power is even, so the answer will be a positive answer. So negative 5 times negative 5, negative times negative will be positive, and 5 times 5 will be 25. So you see that the answer is a positive answer. So remember this rule very well. If the base is a negative number raised to an even power means 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on, then the result is a positive number. The next rule, vice versa. If the base is a negative number, but it's raised to an odd power, so the result is a negative number. Example, let's put a negative number like negative 3 to the power 3, and the 3 is an odd power. So multiply negative 3 by itself how many times? According to the power. Power 3 means multiply negative 3 by itself 3 times. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. So we have to multiply the sign first. Negative times negative will be positive, and positive times negative will be negative. So we are going to put negative sign. Then multiply 3 times 3 times 3. The answer will be 27. So you see that the base is negative and the power is odd. So the answer for the result is a negative number as shown. Another one. I have another example. For example, negative 2 to any odd power like power 5. So we know that if the base is a negative number and raised to an odd power, the answer will be sure negative integer. The result will be negative integer. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 will be 32. So the answer will be a negative number as shown. So remember these two rules very well. Once again, I'm going to repeat. If the base is a negative number and it's raised to an even power, the result will be a positive. But if the base is negative and it's raised to an odd power, so the answer will be negative number. Let's solve this exercise. Here, if A equals to the correct answer, number A if A equals 3 and B equals negative 2, then find the value of 3AB. 3AB means 3 multiply the value of A, which is 3 as shown here. So instead of A, we put 3. And it's multiplied by B. Instead of B, we put negative 2. Substitute. So we are going to multiply 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times negative 2 will be negative 18. So this is the correct answer. Next one. Here we have negative 19 power 0, and I told you before that any number to the power 0 must be equal sure 1. Yes. And then we have to drop the plus sign. And then 19 to the power 0 sure equals 1. So the answer will be 2. This is the correct answer. The last one. Negative 1 to the power 104. Notice that this base is a negative base and the power is even. So the answer will be sure positive answer. So negative 1 to the power 104 will be 1. Plus the other side, negative 1 to the power 103. Notice that negative 1 is a negative base and the power is odd, so the answer will be yes, negative number. So negative 1 to the power 103 equals 1. And if we add them, we got yes, 0. So the answer will be 0. Now we finished the first part of the repeated multiplication. I hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching. Good luck.